Yo, sleepers, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I just want to bring it to your attention that the smaller refiners are actually losing you guys materials because the smaller refiners, they use more materials to give you less of the item. So for example, the copper ingot over here, you can see the copper ore, it's taking 3 copper ore to make 1 copper ingot. And then if we go ahead and look at the big refiner, the copper ore over here is taking 2 for 1 as well. Now that doesn't seem like much, especially unlike the early materials, but on the later materials, especially for the plastinium, which I pretty much just started really getting into farming now in the deep desert solo, is getting these bigger refiners helps you out so much. Especially the spice refiner is a 50% increase on how much you actually get out of the different spice refineries, and this does count for the chemical refineries as well. So the silicone blocks, cobalt based, even the strontium fiber, I think this one you can only make with the medium because there's only 2 different chemical refineries. But for now we have the medium and the small, and then obviously you want to get the bigger one. I have a spreadsheet which I'm going to share with you guys. This will be found in my Dune Awakening Bible, which I'll have down below in the description. You guys can check it out. We pretty much like fill this up with all kinds of information. There's the trials, the maps, resources, interactive map, intel points, unique recipes and stuff that I'm just working out as we go along with Dune. We like to add all this kind of stuff. We did the same thing for TFD. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, check it out down below in the description. But yeah, I wrote up all the different things. There's the small ore refiner, medium ore refiner, and the large ore refiner. Now what I want you guys to have a look at is the plastinium, for example, because this is what we're going to be getting from the deep desert. This does require you to get titanium ore as well as strontium ore. Well, strontium ore, which you then turn into strontium fibers with your chemical refiner. And then as you can see on the large ore refinery, this is getting you just about a 33% percentage gain of how much you actually get at the plastinium. Now if I hop in game real quick and look at the large ore refiner, I actually just made this today because I realized how much of a difference it's going to make in the farming. I got way more out of it. So you can see the water, I think the water stays the same on the plastinium with the smaller refinery, but for like aluminum, for example, look, this is 200, and now you'll see when we go look at the other one. But let's just focus on plastinium for now. So this is costing us 4 titanium ore and 1 strontium fiber for 1 plastinium ingot, right? So 1 and 4. We come over to the smaller refiner, have a look at this one for the plastinium. This is costing us 6 titanium now and 1 strontium. The water is still the same. But I mean, just the difference over there for the 6 titanium versus the 4, that is so much of a difference. My morning chips, I came in today after the deep desert. I was about to craft the plastinium ingots, and I could make about 400 something. And then when I actually looked at it and I made the bigger refiner, then I was actually able to make 540 something. So these have been crafting since I came back on the deep desert this morning. And then I also decided to check out the spice refiner because we did actually move up to the medium spice refiner quite early on in our progression. And as you can see, this is giving us spice sand. 750 spice sand will equal 10 spice melange. Now if we have a look again at the sheet, we look at the spice melange over here. We've got the small one, 100 sand will equal 1 melange. And then the medium one is the one we have right now, is going to be 750 sand, giving you 10 melange. That's a 25% increase over the small one. And then the large one is actually giving you 200 spice melange per 10,000. Now that is also the smallest craft. So with the large one, you can only craft it when you have 10,000 spice sand. And then also with the medium one, it only takes 750 as the smallest craft. So one craft is going to cost you 10,000 spice sand, but it's going to give you 200 spice melange. And if you have a look at that, that's a 50% increase over the medium one, giving you 10 per 750. Because you were to get the 7, if you want to craft 200 spice melange with the medium one, it's actually going to end up costing you 15,000 spice sand. And then that also got just like the breakdown of all the previous ones. Pretty much every single one up is like 1 less in each material. You can see there the small ore, medium, large goes 432, and then the iron required 543. So pretty much just what I'm trying to say for you, the long and the short, is as soon as you guys can make bigger refiners, make bigger refiners straight away. I have suggested in the past in some previous tip videos to not go too far ahead in your progression, like when you're starting things, but that only really applies to like power generators and water generators. For example, I'll show you guys like the power. Let's see, I think it'll probably be on the utilities. Like the fuel power generator, this is just so much better than making the wind turbine, especially like early on in your progression. You won't have the stuff you actually need, like the lubricant. I think you need some industrial industry lubricant or something to run these turbines. You kind of just want to skip those early on in progression, just make more fuel power generators. But then if you come over to refiners, as soon as you can make the next up refiner, whether it's your blood refiners, the ore refiners, chemical refiners, spice refiners, anything like that, just make the next up one as soon as possible. As you guys can see, you are missing out on a ton of materials. And then the other thing is also, I believe they craft it a little bit faster. So like each step up will increase the crafting speed of the crafts as well. So that's also just another thing to look at. And then also to make a lot of space in your base, because these things are massive. We just done some remodeling today to fit in the ore refiner over here. And I actually had to add a whole nother room, because tomorrow I'm going to go farm the deep desert and try and make the large spice refinery. And that's actually going to take up 4. I think these 4 slots over here aren't even enough. So it's going to be 5 levels high, but we'll work on that tomorrow once we go back into the deep desert and actually farm up everything we need. So that's what I want to give you guys, some information on that. Try to make sure your refiners are always as high as you can, and try and focus on, especially if you're a solo player getting into deep desert for the first time, try and focus on making the bigger refiners immediately, especially the ore refiner. This one wasn't actually that expensive. And then try and get yourself the medium spice refiner as fast as possible, so you can work your way to the large spice refiner and just get more out of all your trips by getting more out of all your materials. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you found it helpful and you liked it, please drop a like and a sub on the channel. Helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people out there in Arrakis. Remember, stay hydrated.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind.